story this week, there was some new numbers on the number of foreclosures, and I saw a few headlines. Typical, right? Typical thing where they say, foreclosures spike in the first part of 2022, and yeah, of course they spiked because it went from zero. So anything above zero was a spike, and so we're going to see some more foreclosures. However, they're still way, way below any historic norms whatsoever, and every indication is that we're just not going to see any big wave of delinquent properties and homes being foreclosed on and coming on the market. Which obviously we could use homes on the market, but then again, we don't want people being foreclosed on either. So
right. And to piggyback on that, right? If
yeah,
you know somebody who's behind in payments and they maybe are in a foreclosure direction, have them call us
yeah,
because there are so many solutions
yep.
right now, and you don't have to go through foreclosure. You can maybe save some of that credit that's being harmed because house prices have appreciated so much that a lot of people, we can sell those houses for them and maybe put money in their pocket instead of them walking away with a foreclosure and nothing.
Well, you think about in the last 2 years, maybe 30% price appreciation over 2 years in our market, somewhere around there. I mean, a lot of people probably have more equity than they think they do.
Exactly. And
Well, go ahead.
which reminds me, if you just want to know what prices are doing in your
Yeah,
neighborhood, we'd be happy to get you market data on your neighborhood and your house, just as a courtesy.
sure. The bottom line on the whole foreclosure thing is that we're going to see an increase in 2022, but it's coming from record low levels, and so it's really not going to impact our housing market hardly at all.
Our listeners can't see the chart that you put in front of us, but it's sort of
It's
crazy how low they
yeah,
are, right?
yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
Especially when you look back at
2009, 10,
2010.
11.
Yeah, exactly. Another thing that I don't know if I even want to go here, but we're going to go here anyway. And it was interesting. One of the economists that I follow on Twitter that does a lot of housing stuff, he put together a pretty interesting analysis of is the war in Ukraine going to affect the U.S. housing market? I know there's been a lot of people talking about, okay, is this how's it going to affect the economy? Is it going to affect our economy? And so the takeaway I did on this one, and I've read a couple other economists too talking about it, is that the short answer is really not. It's not going to really. It doesn't appear to do anything because, yes, inflation is going to increase because of fuel prices. I mean, I think that's pretty clear. The thing that's interesting, though, mortgage rates actually ticked down in the last week.
Right. However, the Fed came out this week and said they are going to continue raising the rate, right?
Yeah, but the thing that's interesting, they so what happened was, the Fed came out and everybody was predicting a 50 basis points or half a percent increase in the Fed rate. Well, now it's only going to be a quarter point or 25 bips or whatever you want to call it, right? 25 basis points. And then what happened was when the war started, a lot more money came flowing into the bond market, which is the 10-year bond, right? The 10-year treasury. And when demand goes up, prices go down on the thing. So, the treasury, the 10-year T-bill or the 10-year treasury note, if you look at that, that's really tells us where the mortgage market is going to go. So long story short is mortgage rates actually ticked down this last week. All indicators are that, yes, as the Fed does some more tightening, that maybe mortgage rates will go up. But right now they're holding somewhere in this sub 4, just over 4% range.
And that's for somebody with a good credit
Yeah,
score.
yeah. And that varies obviously.
And by loan program. The thing that was in the legislature passed, and the governor signed the bill for like $25 million for affordable housing.
Yeah.
So that's really nice because our down payment assistance program, what's the entity that administers that?
MFA?
The MFA, Mortgage Finance Authority. will be the ones that are in charge of that. And they do a great job with helping people get into homes, helping with down payments.
The thing I like about that program is, the home buyer has to go through some education. They have to do some financial literacy work, which is great. And it's a way for people to get into home ownership without actually just giving them a house. It's
Right.
like they still have some skin in the game. They have to, have the financial literacy. They still have to qualify. But they just get that little extra help with the down payment, which
Right.
is great.
And
It's a great program.
Some
Yeah.
of the programs that they have, there's more than one available, depending, first time buyer versus move up buyer, whatever. That with as little as $500
hmm
out of pocket for somebody, they can get into a home.
Yeah. Yeah,
Which-
no, it's a good program, that just brings up something. Just made me think about it. Is I was talking. I rented one of our homes, and I was talking to a couple that they're like, well, we'd like to buy, but we don't have 20% down. And it just made me realize again, it's like people don't understand that they don't, you don't need 20% down. Obviously, that's ideal, if you can, because then you don't have to pay mortgage insurance. But for people that are just trying to get their foot in the door of home ownership, the FHA program's 3.5%.
Right,
The
3.5% down payment.
The New Mexico Mortgage Finance Authority program is, $500 out of pocket, like you just said. So
Right.
I think it's just educating people that it's out there. Now, of course, we have this other problem right now, which we have very few
Affordable properties.
starter homes on the market right now.
True.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's interesting, and I don't know what the solution is other than people that are in homes right now that want to get them sold. They can do it, and they can do it quickly, and they can get a good price for them. And it does take quite a bit of navigating, and it's not as easy as just hammering a sign in the front yard, is it?
No, it's not.